should fight one another for the honor of leadership.
Not necessary.
There shall be no knifing one another. Everybody knows who's in charge. Me. Right? Yes, you. Of course.
God knows. I am reincarnated. I was stargazing. Life goes on. I need all my babies.
You guys got anything else?
Last question. What's your relationship like with Roaring Kitty? You guys talk much?
Ask him. We don't want day traders. I'll have a conversation with him if he's focused on decades and centuries, not on making quick buck.
I got the money and the power, both gyrating. I feel good, get the fuck out my face. Look good, but she don't got no ties. I walked in, walked out with the size. Man, don't let me know what the price.
Let's fucking go. All right, 3, 2, 1. Thanks everyone for checking out the show. I'm Sean Fitzzzy.
I'm Paulie.
I'm Swami.
And this is the Echo Chamber. OPEX is behind us, and bear beware, GME gets real bullish at the end of October. Also, what it's like to go 5 days without calls. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Good.
Yeah, 5 days without calls. That's I think it's going to be my autobiography name.
What was the occasion, Fitzy? Like, I feel like this was like Lent for you.
Yeah, it was crazy. OPEX. I've decided to actually try to like listen to what I think I know.
Is this like a 12-step program for you?
Yeah. You know. I am Sean. I'm a YOLO-holic.
That's good though.
It sounds effective.
You were right to not do anything because nothing happened.
Right.
Yeah, it was what we talked about last week. It's kind of what we talk about every week for OPEX is that it's not the greatest. So I was like, you know what? Fucking, I'm going to listen to myself for once. And it worked out. I didn't actually, I guess 5 days would be more like 4.5 because I grabbed a little bit of something at the end of the day yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, things are going good with me. I'm feeling good. It's Saturday night. It's 8:30. We got Swami with us tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's our 50th episode too.
Oh boy.
I guess I want to say that from the start. I was in negotiations to get our former co-hosts with us, Chuck and Echo. They're so big that I actually got to speak to agents and shit now.
I know. Yeah. It's quite an ordeal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You know, I hear waves and shit when I'm talking to Chuck. It's actually Chuck's guy, but
guys just chilling on a beach all the time. It's rough life.
Working. Yeah. So they're both busy. They couldn't make it, so that's all right. But
they send their love, I'm sure.
They send their love. I just wanted to, I guess, bring it up. We, kind of timed that.
I was going to say, wasn't there a milestone you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, we were on the same page. As I say, we timed that almost perfectly with 17,400 downloads.
Nice.
Yeah. So
17.4K downloads cumulatively.
Yeah. It is a lot. Thank you, Swami. I like it. It's
pretty cool.
I feel good about it. So I appreciate everyone that's out there. We all do. Appreciate everyone out there that listens and downloads. Thank you, all my co-hosts too, guys. I appreciate you guys, Swami.
Yeah, thank you.
Boiler Paulie, you've been here since the start, but
you stuck with me. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, we had quite a few. I just it's cool. It feels pretty special to me. We started talking about this almost a year ago at this point, and kind of made it a reality. So almost to the year anniversary. Good job, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me on this.
I mean, congrats to you guys. The original crew. That's a lot of episodes. Like I actually have been part of a podcast that like started and died within 7-8 episodes, whatever. So making it this far, I think, is a testament to you guys. And as a listener to start off with, you know, thank you, you know, for coming up with this and for all the work that you do, Fitzy, and same to you, Paulie, because you know, there's really nothing else out there, you know, like this. You know, Richard Newton had his daily, you know, video, but that was very, you know, chart focused, and you know, he would talk about the business, but it was also, you know, a lot because you'd have to kind of tune in every day, and having like that podcast format that's, you know, maybe an hour to 2 hours long that encapsulates the week is like perfect, I think, for the GameStop enthusiast out there. You know, the only bummer about being a part-time co-host is like the episodes that I'm on, I don't get to listen. You know, I do, but it's like I already know what happens.
Right,
So,
yeah.
but I love listening, and
It
I
spoils
listen to
the surprise.
it does. But yeah, I mean, you know, especially like during the doldrums of like February and early March last year, which was just like awful price action, nothing going on, waiting for the year end, you know, earnings and stuff. And it was great to listen to the podcast. So huge thanks to you guys.
Oh, thank you, Swami. Yeah, I appreciate
thank
that.
you.
Yeah, it's fun to go back and look and see. You know, we started out doing probably about 50 minutes to an hour. That first episode, like we made it a little better, but the audio hopefully has gotten better over the last 50 episodes too. But yeah, here we are doing about 2 hours, and it feels kind of easy when we do it now.
Right. Yeah,
I would like to do more.
Almost second nature, you know.
Yeah, it would be nice to do more. Like 2 a week would be like probably ideal. It's just so hard. It's hard to get this together once a week. My wife would probably if she heard me say that, she would be staring me down right now. That's for sure.
Yeah. My wife gives me a hard time when we get done recording. She's like, when you started this, she was like, you said this was going to be like once a week for 30 or 45 minutes. And I was like, well, we didn't have any idea like if it was even going to work, you know, like we had no idea if it was going to be successful or how much content we'd have, or, you know, like we had honestly no idea coming into this how well it might flow, you know, any of that. So I think just the fact that we're able to get together and riff off 2 hour long episodes without really much of a plan, I think is really just kind of a testament to how much has developed over the last 10 plus months. And you know, I think, you know, we spend a lot of time looking at not only the chart, but the things that go on in the community and building relationships in it. And, you know, I think it's just really cool that we can get together and have conversations like that, you know, go on like that. And, you know, people want to listen to it too, which is pretty neat.
Crazy.
So, yeah,
it is pretty neat. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, you know, like talk about it's easier to do the show. A big part of that is our Discord. So I definitely want to thank all the folks in there that really help contribute to our knowledge all day long. Because I mean, we're just sitting there looking at the feed and talking with y'all in the feed. So a lot of the shit we bring up was probably originally brought to our attention by some folks in the Discord. Happens a lot like that on Twitter too. So yeah, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate the DFV tards. You guys are awesome, by the way. Yeah, lots of cool people contributing to get this show out every week for sure. So, all right, enough patting us on the back, I guess. This is tough for me, but I'm just very proud of it. So, all right, Paulie, how have you been, man? How's your week been?
Pretty good. It's been a very busy week, I guess, in a lot of respects. So I guess I should first acknowledge. So I talked a little bit about the video that I recorded last week for TradingView, and yeah. So, you know, that was sort of, you know, just kind of like a cool thing that I did, and it took off sort of slowly, I guess. And then what was it? Maybe, I guess Wednesday night, I think, I got a comment on on the post that it was Wednesday night. I still have the notification sitting on my phone. I haven't cleared it from my phone. It was Wednesday at 10:51 p.m. It says you have a new comment. TradingView left a comment on your idea, GameStop and Fibonacci. It's about time. And so I was like, TradingView, like the TradingView, you know. So I go look at my email, and it's, you know, they're like, hey, you know, great first post, and you know, they let me know that they had selected it as an editor's pick, which means that it would be featured on the homepage and gets the editor's pick tag on the idea. So I think there were maybe like, you know, like anytime someone likes an idea, you know, like increments the little rocket logo by one. I think there were maybe like 7 of those before they had done that. I think it's up in the mid 80s now.
Hell
so yeah,
Nice.
so it's really really taken off since then.
I think I was the sixth rocket. I feel like I was an early rocketer. I'm not sure.
You were definitely an early one, and I know you liked it twice too, because I still had notifications turned on for those, because it's like by default that's turned on, and so after that, like within the next day, I had to go in and like change my notification settings, because I was getting way too many notifications and emails for all of the, like, you know, someone liked your idea, and I was like, oh, okay. Didn't expect to have this problem, but it is now a problem. And so that was just like, cool. It was really cool to like have that kind of a recognition on my first attempt at publishing something on TradingView, and really just what I woke up with no plan last Friday, and I was like, I'm just going to do a video and show people what fib channels are all about. Because, and it was really more just a response to people who are like, you have too many crayons on your chart. And I was like, no, like, let me show you why they're there.
I'll tell you guys, anyone listening right now, if you want to irritate Paulie, say that to him.
It's not necessarily irritating. It's just like, well,
no,
like,
you take it well, but you hear it so much that I know it's great.
I hear it all the time too. And it's just like, well, like, I understand why people think that there are too many lines there, but I thought it would be an opportunity to just say, okay, well, if you think there are too many lines there, why don't I just show you why they're there? And so that was the purpose behind the video. And especially just to show that, like, I don't sit there and draw 30 lines on the chart either. Like I pick 3 points in time, and then the fib channel automatically draws based on math where these lines all belong. And so where it starts to get especially complex is when I have overlapping fib channels. But, you know, as long as you don't get too crazy with it, having multiple fib channels on one chart can still be meaningful. But yeah, so it was pretty neat to just get that recognition and have a lot of people, I think probably made their way to my X profile and maybe even this show. So if you're a new listener because you found that TradingView idea and you made your way to my X profile and you saw that I host a podcast, then hey, welcome. And I'm sorry, I'm not sure which. So,
I'm impressed at how many people, how actually active TradingView's like socials site is. I didn't expect that. I think it's really cool that you got something that talks about GameStop to the editor's picks page. I think that's pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed at how many people actually are on TradingView's social aspect of it. It's like stock twits, but like not the twit part, maybe. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And so like that was just all super cool. And you know, we got down, you know, this week a couple of times to the Gandalf line that I talked about in the video as well. And you know, so far Gandalf seems to be holding pretty well as well. So Gandalf's been making me look pretty good. And you know, I'm not saying that Gandalf is a silver bullet or anything, or that it's a line that will absolutely hold. But so far, it's looking pretty good as it has in the past. And so I've put together some posts talking about how, that line has been an important stronghold in the past, and how I think it will be here too. But also, even if it falls, I think that is, just a signal that it's about to get interesting. So, whether I'm right or wrong that, you shall not pass the Gandalf line is not necessarily relevant. I kind of hope I'm right, just because it's a fun meme to play with. But I don't care whether I'm right or wrong per se. I just kind of like the meme value of it than anything. But
I think we'll talk about it a little bit, like the way the chart's looking. It looks like your line's going to hold.
Yeah. So far it looks pretty good, but we shall see, as they say, right? But yeah, so that's been kind of a fun thing to the week. It was an unexpected surprise to get that recognition, and like I even added that as a publication to my LinkedIn profile. I was like, screw it, this is peer reviewed at this point. Like, like I added that along with like a journal paper that I published in grad school. So
it's legit.
It's just kind of funny.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But then today, my family and I, or actually, no, sorry, just my wife and I went to Chicago, and we went to my first PSA drop-off event. And that was something that I had been wanting to do for a while. And, I had some things that I wanted to get to PSA, but I was like, I'd kind of like to take them to a drop-off event rather than just, ship them to PSA. And I'm so glad I did. Like, that was a really just nice concierge type experience to get things turned into PSA. And so definitely something I would recommend for anyone who's like a first time submitter, or if you're experienced even, or if you have like a complex submission or multiple types of submissions. It's definitely a nice way to get your things submitted to PSA. And so like what I had was I was sending 34 slabs into the vault that are already graded. I had one slab that was getting a crossover grade. So it's something that's already been graded by another company, and I'm asking PSA to evaluate it. And if it will get, above a minimum grade that I've designated, then they'll crack open the slab and put it in a new holder that says PSA on it instead. I sent in one slab that needs a new holder, so it's already got a PSA certificate, but it's actually damaged, and so I'm asking them to reholder it. And it actually came to me that way. It was actually the very first slab that I got. It was like a random card that I got on eBay from a lot of just bulk cards that I had purchased a while back, and it's a Michael Jordan card from 1989. So it's just a PSA 9. It's not worth much, but it's only like $12.99 to get a card reholdered. So like I want to get that damaged slab just replaced. So I did that, and then I also had a new submission for a Zach Edey card. So I've already done one Black Money Blast card that I sent in through GameStop. That was my Stephon Castle rookie card. So now I've got another Black Money Blast card for Zach Edey's rookie card going in direct through PSA on this submission. And then my Time Magazine Person of the Year from 2006. That is going through on this submission too. So I have,
that's cool.
Yeah. So I have I've got 4 separate submission receipts here for my fresh submissions, and then they also sent me an email receipt for the cards that I submitted to the vault. So they said it'll probably be about 2, probably 3 weeks before my submissions get fully processed by PSA on their end. And I believe that all of my grading submissions are probably going to their facility in Southern California. And the vault submission is obviously going to Delaware. So but yeah,
That's
like
cool.
that was basically my experience. A guy named Riley helped me out at the event today in Chicago, and he was super nice. He also did take a quick look at my one card that got a do not holder designation from my vintage submission earlier this year. He basically said he's like honestly, like so kind of the same thing as me. He's like I can't tell just from looking at this why it didn't get graded. He's like, my assumption is that they probably measured it and it's like too short or too long on one side, and so that was maybe the factory did miscut it. Like it's not that they're saying that it's been trimmed or anything, but that the factory miscut it. And because it's like the dimensions are wrong, then probably that's why they didn't holder it. That's his best guess anyway. But he did suggest that I email PSA customer service and see if they could give me any additional information on it. But I don't know if I'll be able to get any more information on it, just because like it's kind of a strange situation. Because like when I put that one up next to like the identical card, because I sent in two of the same card to get graded, one got graded and the other one got miscut do not holder, and I'm like, these cards look identical to me. Like I don't get it. That was the only thing in that submission where I was like, I'm so confused right now. But like I trust that they know what they're doing. I just, like I didn't get an explanation because obviously I didn't pay like for grader notes or anything like that. So,
that's crazy. You can get grader notes, huh? You can have
yeah,
them,
yeah.
like,
You
gotta pay,
you
gotta pay
can
extra.
Yeah, you can pay extra for grader notes. And I will say also like the Time magazine that I'm sending in, magazines and comic books. That service includes grader notes with all service levels. So,
wow.
So that's cool. So anything that does not get a perfect 10, if you have grader notes included with your service, you'll get detailed descriptions of whatever the defects are, like anything that is the reason why it got something other than a 10. If you get a 10, then there is no grader note because you don't need one. But
yeah. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, that sounds like a good time. I know Swami, we haven't had you. It's been our rotation's you've been here probably about 3 weeks ago, so it hasn't been terribly long. But I've seen that you've done some card pull. You weren't doing pack pulling. Just go ahead. What did you do with? First off, I guess, how have you been? And tell us about your card journey this past week.
Yeah, I don't know what I did 3 weeks ago. I don't know
Yeah,
what I had this, but
that's fair.
But I do know I went to GameStop today. So yeah, I picked up some, how many, like 10, 15 cards that I had sent in for grading.
Let's go.
Late summer. And they came in like a couple, like maybe a week or two ago. I just couldn't get over there. So finally picked them up today. I got my Roaring Kitty card from Cardsmiths. It's called the Apes card, but it's Roaring Kitty on the front.
Man, I love that card.
So I'm pumped about that. I got a 9, which, it was a brand new card, but I guess I need to be a little bit more careful about cards, I think, that I want to send in. Because some of the other ones that were new,
that was a refractor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the barrel gemstone refractor.
I feel like the refractor is a 9 is a very common grade.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's because of the curve or if it's because it's a thicker card or what. Like I need to do some research on how they grade the thicker cards and the refractors in particular.
I've read, I can't remember where. It must have been PSA's website or maybe like a forum or something,
Mm-hmm.
but they do take into account like the manufacturer's like track record or whatever. So like if the quality of the card like at its like most pristine level like has flaws because that's just the manufacturer, they are they say that they take that into account. But
Okay, yeah.
regardless, like I'm happy about it. I got some other, like I got my Shadowless Blastoise back. So that's like a childhood card. It only got a 5, but I think that's fine. Like
Yeah.
it was not in great shape.
Yeah. That's still
And
worth
it's still
something.
worth like $250 even as a 5.
Yeah, that's a great card to have.
Yeah. So no, very cool.
Awesome.
You know, I walked in there and, you know, picked up the slabs, and there's something about holding like 15 slabs at once. It just feels good in your hand.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, really cool. I mean, you know, this is the cool thing about GameStop. Like, and I really liked what Aaron said about this a week or two or whatever, whenever it was. But
Mhm.
you know, I used to be a big video game player when I was a kid, but like I have kids now. I have a job, and I follow my investments. So like the time that I have to really dedicate to gaming is quite limited. And but I want to support the company, and I don't know. I was never like a huge card collector guy, but I just kind of saw what GameStop was doing. I saw the market, you know, around it, and I did, you know, have Pokemon cards as a kid, so it's just kind of cool because, you know, I went in there and I picked those up, and of course I got to buy something, right? So I bought a couple like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trading cards because
Oh,
I also
nice.
liked that show as a kid.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I know nothing about the cards, but they're like $6 each. I bought a couple. Maybe I'll get some rare card, and you can send it in and get it graded, and then like, you know, it's like an asset. So it's just cool. It allows, like, I think a lot of investors who can't play video games all the time to participate more in what the company's doing. So
Yeah.
love it. But yeah, besides that, you know, busy, kids are in school, all that stuff. Work is busy. End of year is coming up. So, but definitely excited about GameStop as a business. You know, believe it or not, like the next earnings is in like, you know, a little more than 45 days, probably, or like
Yeah.
you know, a little more than 50 days.
Yeah.
And as you said, Fitzy, this is typically a good time of the year, price action wise. So we'll talk about that. But that's all I got.
Yeah. Speaking of video games, I'm taking a stab at it. I went to a GameStop and did some shopping myself this week. I went in to get Battlefield 6, the physical copy, because Bobby was they're all kind of talking about it in the Discord, and I was like, that was a fun game, so I'm gonna try. So I went in. Tried to get Battlefield 6. I didn't have it for Xbox. It turns out they don't send a whole lot of Xbox copies these days. Microsoft doesn't seem to be doing that great. But I did get a $19.99 Game Pass Ultimate, so that was cool. I saved a little money there, and I saved $1 for being a pro member.
Nice.
$1. Yeah, but I didn't get that, so I had to order the game online, and it's not even here yet. So I re-signed up for my old Game Pass Ultimate, and I was playing Fortnite with my daughter last night. That was kind of fun. But now I'm waiting on Battlefield 6 to fucking get in some tanks and fly around with Bobby and the folks in the Discord and just blow some shit up. Yeah, you know that's going to be a good time. So yeah, I'm giving it a go. Fuck it. I mean, I just stare at my phone and flip, like, doom scroll Twitter and shit a lot of the time. So yeah, speaking one of the videos that I saw, we were talking about slabs and how it feels. I saw this dude had like, it was the craziest shit I've ever seen in his basement. It would have to be over 10,000 slabs. And then like all these boxes.
I think I just saw that video, actually.
Yeah,
it was crazy,
I saw
right?
that while I was in Chicago today.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I'm just like, does that dude have like, is that a vault in his house? Because if he gets robbed, that thing's wild. But yeah,
maybe that's Rich's alt account.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's just kind of crazy though. Like I don't think I'd feel
Pretty
very
wild.
safe with all that. Yeah. I'd want that in the vault. PSA, I think instead of my house, probably way more secure there.
Well, you talk about like products that have an extremely fanatical customer base, and collectibles is that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it seems like it's just getting crazier and crazier. I feel like, I guess the kids that were part of that, like us, and not so much me, but the Pokemon kids were like after me a little bit. They're all getting old and they're all having, more and more money. So it feels like they're going to keep driving the price up on these things as we go. So that's cool. Yes, it was Saturday, and it seems like at least every other Saturday we get lines at GameStop, and we had one this weekend. This time it was for GameStop's own product, right? Like, so physical Power Packs 3 are out. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, Series 3.
Yeah. So Series 3, Bad Robot was our man on the scene today. He took a picture. He was in line. He went down there himself, and he looked so serious too. Though he was like, "Fucking, I'm here to get my Power Pack." He was on it, but yeah, I see when I do my stalking as I drive by my GameStop on the way to work, and every other Saturday now there's another line. So. But I don't know. I think there was some other Pokemon stuff that came out today. Do you guys know what it might have been or not?
The new game came out Wednesday night at midnight.
ZA.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh
Which
yeah.
is
Okay.
That's like the Switch game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's mainly physical. The robot was talking about that. So yeah, I'm looking at GameStop's Twitter account right now, actually. So first off, Mike Hands got quote tweeted this. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like multiple times this week.
Yeah. I'm looking
he
at
him. He did some great stuff this week.
Yeah, he really did some good work. He did one for the Pokemon launch where he dressed up like Pikachu. So that was pretty
really
fucking
good.
cool.
Really good.
The Battlefield 6 one that he did, where he had the controller like as the gun. I'm not even like, that shit made me actually laugh. Like I lolled at that. He was calling for help or support or whatever it was.
He's so creative.
Yeah, good job, Mike. Putting in work. The Double Pro Week video I'm looking at right now, and he's looking like a pro. So that's cool. They got a Buck the Bunny PlayStation 5. Oh no, it looks like there's an Xbox
PlayStation 5 and Xbox controllers.
Yeah,
for Buck.
That's pretty neat. That the controller looks sick too, by the way. So if anyone's looking to buy some GameStop exclusive gear, that controller, it's black and white with Buck on it, and I like it.
It's black and white and Buck all over.
Yeah, I wish I like the way the PlayStation one has Buck the Bunny written on that little pad.
Yeah,
that the PlayStation has. So I don't know. The other thing, I guess from the GameStop Twitter feed would be the Mario's last name is Mario tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna need a minute to process this.
Yeah.
Mario.
It's just good stuff. Like the least attractive male hobbies that they came out with. Number 1, playing video games. 2, collecting figurines. 3, crypto. 4, online trolling, and 5, gambling. Like,
we are cooked.
Yeah.
check.
Yeah. I was gonna try to make one for us, and really, like 5 would equal weeklies, because that would have been.
It's the same thing.
Where Echo Chamber isn't too bad at online trolling. Sometimes I feel like it. Sometimes we do. Sometimes you got to, like today. I mean, there's just days like when you're starting getting people bitching immediately. That's a good day to troll. Today was a good one, so I just put out Ryan Cohen is the greatest chairman and CEO to ever walk this earth.
It's bait.
It is bait, and it's good to work every time. If you go to the comments, you got at least 4 or 5 people in there.
Great way to get some engagement, some extra pennies in your ex paycheck.
I got to get that. Yeah, I meant to talk about
get
last
those
week.
Elon pennies.
Yeah, it's $50 again. That's what I got last time. It's an off week, so I'll talk about it on the show more and more. I think I think the social media aspect of everything is interesting to me, but especially Twitter, X, and we're all kind of present there on X, so I like talking about it. But yeah, they paid me $50 last time. So steady $50, and all I'm doing is posting good morning for the most part. Yeah. I mean, shit, I have a hard time. I want to post more. Like, I can't. I don't know, man. It's just like, it's kind of like boring right now. There's not much to really post about when it comes to the chart, at least. That's not boring. There's plenty of shit to talk about. Scratch that. I'm gonna bloody wanker myself for saying that.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty to talk about, but I can't. I don't know. Maybe the fucking trolls are winning with me on X, because I feel like I think about like all the bullshit I'm gonna have to hear for basically every post. There's like 3 or 4 people that'll be like, "Fuck it, do something, RC." We're back to that again, by the way. It's amazing how quickly that happens. Everyone was bitching about warrants, right? Like, no, not warrants. They, before the warrants, do a dividend, do something. So they do a dividend, and now it's like, fuck it. Just okay. The price isn't moving, but the market moved, and
oh yeah, I had someone this week who was like, well, they were basically complaining about how GameStop is range bound for the last 5 years, whatever, blah blah blah. And I was like, GameStop's up like 560% since 5 years ago today. Like they're like, well, okay, I was off by 1 year. What's 1 year among friends? I was like,
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I was like, well, maybe you should keep your grocery money and your stock market money separately.
Get your troll right, bro.
Yeah, like just. If you're complaining that Ryan Cohen is the reason you can't buy groceries, then I think that's a you problem, not a Ryan Cohen problem.
Yeah,
that's
it's also not true. Like they're fucking
exactly. Yeah, like, but also like I look at complaints like that coming out as more or less an indication that we're kind of in a good spot right now. Like if you just think about like the fear and greed index, and when the FUD starts getting ratcheted up more, and we've talked about this before, when people start invading your feed more and more with negative stuff, and just in general, whether it's about Ryan Cohen or GameStop or Bitcoin or just the economy in general, like the more people get bearish on things, that social sentiment is normally the opposite of what you should actually be feeling.
The Kramer effect, right?
Yeah, honestly. But you need to also remember the inverse is also true. Like when people start getting euphoric about it and they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to the moon. Like when everybody thinks that like everything is hunky-dory and amazing, like you should probably start to feel like, oh, we're probably about to hit the top.
Like when I tweet, are we gonna hit 100 in May?
Right. Yeah, there's your top signal right there.
Yeah, that's my least favorite tweet right there, guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, and it's like less anecdotal stuff like that, but more like it's the sea change sentiment stuff. It's like
you're right.
Yeah, it's when you start to sense that like your entire feed starts to feel a certain way. That's when you should start to think, yeah, this is not natural. And this is more manufactured than anything. And it's not necessarily that those people are bots or anything, or that they're shills. It's more that like literally like it's the way that human psychology works, and it's that people are being influenced to feel a certain way, and people can some people are just more easily influenced than others, and we live in a very technologically advanced world where there are powers that be that can just turn a few knobs and dials and get literally millions of people to put out messages on the internet that say certain things just because they have induced a little bit of fear or euphoria just through some subliminal messaging, essentially. And that's not to be like conspiracy theorist about it. It's just like that's just the way that it is. And it's just like if you can sort of be attuned to those things, and I think it allows you to focus more on what your sources of truth are. And like I try to focus a little bit more on like, okay, what's the chart telling me than what's social media telling me.
Warren Buffett has a good quote about that. Well known, be greedy when others are fearful.
Yes.
Be fearful when others are greedy.
Absolutely.
And there's a reason for that. Like, and I don't think it's conspiratorial at all, Paulie, because I mean there's like there are writings on the stock market that go back over 100 years that talk about this. Like Jesse, I think it's Jesse Livermore. He was like kind of like the father of like TA, and like I think the Wyckoff method was drew from
accumulation.
Yeah, and so they were talking in the early 1900s about like they would call it a campaign. It'd be where a campaign would go out to either induce people to sell so that you could accumulate. And then when it was time to distribute, your campaign would be positive and bullish.
Yes.
And you sell into the euphoria. Like it's a tale literally as old as time. So
that's exactly how it works.
That was when like horse and buggy was still going on. So like it's human psychology.
Yeah, because that's how exit liquidity and entrance liquidity work.
You would think it would be harder back then, but I feel it seems like way easier to trick folks these days with the internet.
Yeah, I mean, information just moved slower back then, but I mean, the psychology of it all was all the same.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like
same old tricks,
easier.
just a different cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, and we see it on smaller scales with certain tickers, maybe open or we see people pump it, and you could probably be sure that they're selling into that pump.
Yep. Any altcoin, like any sub $500 million market cap. I mean, they have bots. They pay for bots. To gin up like where it's going to the moon. If you see it's going to the moon, short it.
right.
Or sell. If you have it, sell it. Because it's a sign.
Yeah. Or like just like don't even follow the social sentiment at all. Just follow the chart. Like the chart tells you everything you need to know. Like that's a much easier way to get your signals, because the chart is actually what's telling those entities what to put out as their campaign, right? So like, I mean, that's how it all works in the first place. So but
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I mean, I was just gonna say like, I mean, we were talking about it before the show. Like, I mean, like I have a portfolio with my wife where we have some stocks that we bought like earlier in the year, and like Robinhood just recently added the ability to trade options in joint accounts. And so I was like, oh, cool. Like I can actually sell options on that account now. And so like I sold covered calls on other tickers.
Yeah, don't worry, everyone.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't on GameStop, but I
bloody
sold,
wanker incoming.
Yeah, I sold covered calls on other tickers in that account, and actually lowered my cost basis. And it was purely based on the fact that those tickers were doing this. Like they were having a little bit of a euphoric run. And I just went and looked at the gamma exposure, and I was like, oh, well, I see where the peak gamma exposure is for the week, and I can sell a covered call above that peak gamma exposure and feel pretty comfortable. Like if it keeps running, then okay, I'll take profit and maybe work my way back in through a sold put later, and just wheel this. but like I'm up on my position in this, and I can lower my cost basis through a sold call. But sure enough, like the company that I sold calls on this week was Bitfarms, and I sold calls at the $6.50 strike, and that was about where it peaked this week. So those calls were in the money briefly, but I was like, man, like these calls, like I sold them at like a 25-cent premium, and the premium got up to like 48 cents or something like that at one point. So like they were down, but I held them, and then they expired worthless on Friday because Bitfarms closed the week at 501, and it peaked at 660. So yeah, but I mean,
Nice job.
Yeah, but I mean, like everything in crypto like had a rough end to the week,
It's
but
still looking pretty shitty too, by the way.
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, but we were talking about it before the show, and I mentioned what the ticker was, and Swami was like, "Oh yeah, they had a convertible bond or something." I was like, honestly, I didn't even follow the news on this. I was only watching the chart, and because I was watching the chart, I sold covered calls on it, and like I had no idea that there were even convertible bonds on this, but it makes sense. So it's just kind of funny how that all worked out. And like I saw that it was a little overextended, and I was like, yeah, now's a good time. Like I was up like 250% on my position. I felt like it was a good time to lower my cost basis. And it's funny that like I can do that on one that I'm not emotionally attached to. But with GameStop, I'm like, no way. Oh yeah, no. like can't do that.
So while we're talking about crypto, I figure I'll just bring it up now. Bitcoin's sitting at 106,000 right now. So
what a great buying opportunity.
Basis? Yeah,
I was around 109,000. So like we spent $500 million on 4,710 billion. Oh, so there's actually $106,157. So
we're about $700 over. The price of Bitcoin is about $700 over GameStop's cost basis right now. It got down to 103,000 yesterday morning. It looks like so. Yeah.
I feel like I need to put that as a vertical. I need to put that as a horizontal line on my chart for their cost basis.
Oh yeah, I agree. It got
I'm
down.
Gonna do that now, actually.
Yeah, it's good. It got down there. What day was that? The 10th on that Friday. So about a week before the other touch of. So it got down to 102,000 last Friday, and then this Friday it got down to 103. So it's not looking good. Yeah. It's looking pretty bad. Like it's about to take a new stab at that low too. So, all right. So let's see.
Well, based on the conversation we just had, that is exactly when you should be as bullish as possible.
Yeah, you're right.
Basically, GameStop and Bitcoin are at their equivalent of a Gandalf line right now. So,
what a coincidence that is happening to both of them at the same time.
What a coincidence indeed, right? Quite incredible. Yeah, and I'm looking at my weekly chart for Bitcoin right now, and it's hovering like right above my zero fib line, like my zero fib channel.
Yeah, it's right there. It basically took the trend line from the low in like August of 24, and then the low in April this year.
Yeah,
it touched right there, and
it is just beautiful.
200 day.
Yeah, and even if it sweeps lower than that, like I wouldn't care. Like that's just a beautiful dip to be bought.
Yeah, I wonder, is RC thinking about buying the dip? I wonder if
he could be. He could be actively buying right now. I don't know, but I mean.
That'd be bullish if I think it would be if we announced that we had another 4,710 Bitcoin at like a lower cost basis. I think we'd probably catch a bit off of that news.
I do too, because I think that would help validate the strategy that he has. because
he waited,
he
and
said
everybody
in
was like,
those-
"You're fumbling," and now it's right back at his cost basis.
Yeah, he said I rewatched his interview in July with Charles on whatever money.
MSNBC.
No, the one on Fox with the one.
Oh,
he
okay,
goes,
the Charles Payne on Fox News, yeah.
And he was pretty. You know, he didn't give anything away, obviously, but he implied that like the price matters. He said the price matters, so he's like, we may acquire more, we may not, and. You know, to me, that sounds like he is looking for good entry points. And, you know, they have so much cash that, like, you know, he may not want to, like, YOLO money when it's in a huge downtrend, because you also, you know, you never know. You don't want to try to catch a falling knife.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Like, it might
but-
have more downside for sure.
Yeah, but like, again, they have so much money. Like, what if he just tells their custodian, like, hey, just buy 50 million and let's see where it goes? Because 50 million is not a lot of money to them, which is crazy to say, you know, but like, that's where you can kind of like dollar cost average on these dips. Again, maybe you don't catch like the whole dip and you get like the best cost basis, but if it's going to rebound, you catch some of the low and you just keep buying up until maybe a certain level. And he says, hey, don't, you know, once it hits like 120, like we don't want to buy anymore because we're good after that. And
119.
Yeah,
right?
or 109, 420, you know?
Yeah.
I
was just thinking of the
but,
tweet
like,
he did.
But I think that, you know, initially, you know, RC fumbled the Bitcoin purchase because he didn't buy enough.
Fuck, huh?
But you know, if he was like doing what you know, MicroStrategy does, which again, like, that's their business, it makes sense for them. And MicroStrategy already has over 500,000 Bitcoin at a cost basis of like 70 grand. So them smashing the tops does not matter at this point.
Yeah.
And what's
if
he been
anything-
up to? Has he been buying? Fucking Sailor
every
Boy,
week.
he was buying.
Every week. Yeah.
He
Okay.
dabbles. Yeah. They haven't done any big offerings lately, so he'll buy like 100 million, which is like nothing for them. But he's kind of dollar cost averaging at this point, which is interesting, because that's potentially what RC is doing. But again, like, people are like, why didn't he just deploy all of the convertible bond capital into Bitcoin? Well, maybe this is why. Maybe this is why, motherfuckers, because like, if they announce a buy in December that they acquired, you know, 4,710 Bitcoin at a average price of 107K, and in December Bitcoin's at 180K, they will catch a bid. I'm calling it right now.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. They would not let it catch a bid just to fuck with our souls or something like that. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's good. I think it would be pretty cool. It's just, I was thinking about like times just from when we started this podcast to now, back in like February and March, Sailor and Bitcoin was like all we talked about, right? Like, it just seemed like every week we were looking at what he was doing, and now it's kind of like, I'm more interested in what's going on with Pokemon and shit now, power packs, all that stuff. So interesting times. GameStop, you know, if you want to say people who say RC isn't doing anything, just they're crazy. Look at this last year. Lots of shit from the start till now has happened, and all positive. So, all right.
I think him finally doing some media appearances is like a big signal on that like he is feeling good about where they have the business, you know, because that's who he is. Like, he doesn't like to sell the company, at least right now. Maybe that'll change, because I think he's just a humble guy, and he's like, this, you know, he called it a piece of crap. Like, this company was a piece of crap, and until I make it not a piece of crap, I'm not gonna like get out there and try to sell it, because that would be like disingenuous. But him getting out there and doing 2 media interviews when there was no announcement, like there was nothing that I guess maybe it was to get some visibility on the fundraiser they did, But I don't know. I viewed that as like very bullish that RC is like out there finally.
Yeah, he went hard on it, more than just like some visibility for sure. So it was good. Yeah, I agree with you. Magnificent. Speaking of people that contribute in the background, a lot of those DFE clips have come from him or you, Swami, but he posted a couple good ones that I think are going to make their way into the show too. So, all right. Anyways, I kind of. What was the clip he posted about that? I lost my train of thought there. He posted one today. Anyways, we're going to take a break right now, and you will hear what it was. I lost what it was, but you're going to hear that clip.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Yeah, we're going to come back. We're going to do the chart. We got a special segment. I think we're calling it "What Swami Sees," and then
nice.
It's pretty much
I like that.
We need some intro music or something like that too, I guess. All right, and then so okay, cool. We'll be back in a little bit, guys. Thanks.
All right, this one looks good. You know what? I gotta use the restroom super quick. You know what I just realized is that I don't have a. What I should have is like a quick video or something to put on. What I should do is I could mix all the. I mean, you probably seen the damn Roaring Kitty videos. A bunch I play them out at the beginning and the outro and stuff. But I should at least put those videos together to play, as like a break or something. Anyway, I thought about it. I should have. I haven't done OBS in like a couple of months. I've been focusing on like some videos and the templates and stuff. But I could probably add some more stuff to OBS on that front. I'll give that some thought. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes. You know what I can do is I can do the countdown again, and then we'll go to the opening. I apologize. I know I played it at the beginning, but I guess that's all I got right here. Just so you guys something to watch. I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Forget the squeeze side of stuff. You know what I mean? That's almost besides the point. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just saying how if you're legitimately trying to turn around business, it's beneficial to have a look at Tesla. You know, I said that about Elon Musk. I saw people talking about Elon Musk in the chat. Like, I mean, this guy may single-handedly will his company to succeed because of his salesmanship of his own company. Do you know what I mean? To say nothing, to voice no opinion on the security at all, I don't care. But the way he speaks about his business and the way he carries himself, he's been able to raise so much money for Tesla, and I'm not voicing any opinions. Maybe it ends up zero. I'm not saying I don't care. All I know is that if it does succeed, you can largely the shareholders can largely thank Elon because he's been able to sell his business, sell the shares, but the price keeps going up, and they can continue raising capital at higher and higher prices. Didn't they just raise $5 billion early this year? I think that they should have raised more. When I remember thinking like this was when the stock price was really taking off, right? Wasn't it? Was it February? I forget. But I remember thinking, oh, you should have raised more. Or did they? No, they just raised $5 billion recently, right? I forget. But I remember thinking all along, like, raise more if you want to raise as much as you can actually get across. Same thing with not so much GameStop. They're going to raise money, but whenever you're a business and you're trying to like do something big, whether you turn around your business or develop your business, you want as much cash as possible at attractive prices. And this guy, if Tesla ends up succeeding and crushing it, like, he kind of willed it to happen, you know what I mean? But I'm not dialed into this company. I just can following it from the sidelines, kind of watching the price action pretty much. And it's been something to see.
Most everyone's mad here. You may have noticed that I'm not all there myself.
All right, we're back. I just saw my 15-year-old off to a homecoming dance, so we took a little break. That was emotionally damaging. It was crazy. She looks way older than she should, and it was cool seeing her go out. She looks beautiful, but she looks a little too pretty. I was like, whoa, we gotta fix this. So yeah, that was fun. Okay, so we're gonna get into the week that we had. It wasn't very good. We started out the show talking about. I started out talking about how 5 days without calls, and I chose that because it was OPEX week. I was like gonna listen to myself and and actually play what I think is going to happen. And if you listen to the show last week, I said the reason I don't like OPEX week is because it just seems to get drawn to max pain. Like it happens a lot, like all the time, but OPEX week, it seems like egregious, like no matter what, even if we catch a bit early in the week, it definitely is going to come back. But we didn't even get a version of that. So it was just, typical sideways stuff it's got the same vibe that we had for, well, pretty much now since June. It's been a sideways kind of bounce around.
And the reason for that too, like in case people are wondering, is because like options drive pretty much everything in price action, right? And the monthly options expiration is the most popular in terms of volume. And so like, we've talked about this before too, like max pain is the oversimplification, but the peak gamma exposure is going to be where the concentration of risk goes. And so if you've got the bulk of the volume going to the monthly options, then that is why your monthly expiration, it has the strongest pull toward those strike prices. So I mean that's why this is the week where you kind of see that type of behavior every month. And someone asked in the comments on X this week, like, hey, what's OPEX? So for anyone who's still wondering that, like when we're talking about OPEX or more specifically MOPEX, monthly options expiration, it's the third Friday of the month is the monthly options expiration. That is the that's the primary options expiration. And then on an options chain that has weeklies, then you might also have weeklies. And so like, the S&P 500, for instance, has, dailies.
It does.
And in some instances it has an AM and a PM expiration on the dailies. And so like it can get a little extra nutty there. So we don't even have to get into that. But like
I remember when I found out about
you can
dailies.
have primary and secondary expirations.
Yeah. I remember when I found out about dailies on the indexes. I think for a while, like IWM was only doing every other day. So it was like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday expirations. But now, now all those are every day. So if you're feeling, extra degenerate, like that kind of seems to be where there's a lot of action on short dated stuff when it comes to the market, like SPY, and it's from like big spenders too. So it kind of seems to have
it's bigger than
things.
Actually,
yeah, exactly.
Zero DTE options make up like the vast majority of options now through the indexes. And while there is a ton of institutional play, there's a lot of retail money that goes into the zero DTEs. So it's kind of it's created a new environment. Most of the time, it's actually kind of stabilizing, but it can also accelerate moves in either direction. So that's why, like, we had like insane day on like, I think it was April 9th or 10th on SPY, where it went up like $50 in one day, which was just like, what? Because Trump tweeted like, buy the dip.
Right.
But like
It's
when
crazy.
you get like this influx of like actual buying of the shares of the index or the stock, and there's a bunch of options out there that then like immediately go into the money, and the dealer has to flip their hedge, their sell to a buy, it can really juice the move. So
yeah. And then so some months when it comes to like option chains are available later. So we'll have leap contracts that are a year out. I think we got October. We have some 2028 expirations right now for GameStop, and I think October 2027 is out there. So some months tend to be heavier because they're available much longer as well. So certain OPEXs are even heavier, but for the most part, that is where we see the most action of the month. And Yeah, it just tends to be flat there. So we got that. Let me get back to my chart here. Monday,
and for anyone also who's wondering, LEAP is actually it's a loose acronym. It stands for Long-Term Equity Anticipation Securities.
Oh.
So
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, the P is like in the middle of the word anticipation. That's why it's a loose acronym. So that's where it comes from. Yeah.
Yeah, which is basically a contract that's about a year out or longer. That's pretty much how I look at it. People will be calling like January leaps, but
yeah, they're typically at least 1 year out, sometimes as much as 2 or 3.
Yeah, okay. So Monday started out, I guess, with a gap up again. I went back. Seems like every Monday starting out with these like. It wasn't a big one, don't get me wrong, but like little pops always, it seems like. So probably this week, Sunday after hours, or Sunday night. What is it? Fake trade. When fake trading starts Sunday night, it usually does pretty well. And then Monday morning, we start out well. And usually that gap up fills off. That's happened like 5 or 6 weeks in a row now. It's almost like you can set your watch to it. So that happened again. 5.7 million volume on Monday, and every day. There really isn't much to talk about with the chart. 5.7 million volume, 0.5% up on Monday, 4.4 million on Tuesday, 0.39% up. Wednesday was 5 million, 0.34% up. Thursday, the big day, 6.5 million, down 1.5%, and then up 0.5% yesterday. Friday, 6.2 million. Yeah, what did we close the week out at? 2307. I think down like 1%. Total volume was 28 million. Just smack in the middle of same old shit. Here we go again. What is it? The same old shit, same old cycle.
It's a different cycle.
Still, with each cycle, it becomes a bit more pertinent this time around. But it's just that's why I talked about that in that GameStop video I did, right? Because it's just like the same shit, just same old shit, dog. Just a different cycle. Here we go again. Same old bear dogs, just a different cycle. Here we go again.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I'm going to try to add that. It's been a while since I put that one in the show, but it's dead on what we've seen. Back in August at the beginning, we were doing 24 million a week, 25 million, 20. It was just the same shit. So, and then we caught our bid right at the end of that, by the way, too. So, yeah, you talk the Gandalf line. I'm sure you'll get to that. We are just kind of chilling on this really long trend line that goes all the way back to the low from 2024. Well, not the low, but the post-Kitty low from 2024 at the very beginning of August. All the way up to now, we're just kind of like riding that bad boy. That sounded a little aggressive. Just riding that bad boy. Sorry, anyways, in terms of the option chain, that was not very good either. I pull it up here. Yeah, so we got the 2 chains. So I did learn
2 chains.
2 chains. I think 2 phones. I got 2 phones. Yeah, it's one for the plug. Anyway, Jake he showed me that you can actually see max pain for each chain, and you can combine them on Chart Exchange. So that's pretty interesting. I still haven't found like anywhere to actually just go look at the old chain, but you can kind of see open interest by expiration there at least. And there's still a shit ton of money on that old chain that is position close only, GME1. So a lot of people holding on there. I just find that interesting. I'm sure though we are getting natural selling pressure from that. I'm sure that there's like de-hedging that we feel on the price. I don't know the mechanics behind having 2 chains and how that would work when it comes to hedging and all that stuff. But yeah, there's probably a lot of selling from that other chain just consistently. And then what we saw on GME's option chain since we have opened up has been pretty bearish. Last week was very heavy call selling. I think Wednesday or Thursday was over $7 million in net premium of sold calls, as well as put buying. So, and not good stuff when it comes to the price. It's far dated shit, but I really don't think that the date matters on it. No one's going to be throwing lots of money at short dated anything that is serious. So, we might see strikes, like a bunch of contracts being bought for like a year out or whatever. And it doesn't necessarily mean they think it's going to take the full year to get there. In fact, they'd be silly if they were playing it a year out like that. So, but there was 12,000 $16 puts bought, right, Swami? Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a weird buy there. I want to say it was for April and $16 strike. It was like 250K. So I mean, not anything crazy, but
still a lot of big number. I just said it was the amount that got my attention. And then there was some 9, 17, 27, $8 calls that were sold. It was like just heavy volume there. Both days that we were seeing the selling.
And those look to me, I'd have to check the OI and stuff, but there was the huge spike in calls bought right on October 1st.
Yeah.
Which, surprise, like right before the warrant date. Those look like they got partially dumped on October 9th. So
nice.
If you look at like I'd have to check the OI, but just based on the numbers, like how big the net premium was on the 1st and then on the 9th. Although the 9th was last week, so I don't know. Yeah, it looks like they're sold though, because there was a bunch of deep in the money calls that were bought on October 1st, and then a bunch of deep in the money calls that were sold on the 9th. So, that looks to me like either a hedge, or maybe they wanted calls available to them that they could exercise that had warrants attached to them because they did buy it on October 1st. But that doesn't concern me too much. It just kind of looks like a hedge unwind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't ugly. One day it got pretty bad. I think it was Thursday, but for the most part, when it came to the option chain, it was just like it was on the chart, just kind of like just sideways bullshit. We did end the week pretty strong though. Yesterday was 1.65 million in net call premium. But it ended really kind of bullish, even though the chart didn't end that way. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how next week looks in terms of that. We are entering an extremely bullish part of the year when it comes to GameStop and the cycles. There's May. That's like the number one hitter. I think that's 5 for 5 at this point. If you go back to 2020. Wait, no, that wouldn't be right. 4 for 4 going back to 2020. August is like 4 for 5 going back to 2020. Let me say that again. 4 for 4 going back to 2021 is May, because we didn't have. I don't think May 2020 was very good. Yeah, but I could be wrong there too. I'm just assuming. But August was very good in 2020, and then either way, what I'm trying to say is the end of October / beginning of November. And then the end of November is probably either the second best part of the year for GameStop or maybe the third around if you consider August. But I feel much better. October has had something happen every single time. So I went and kind of marked them off real quick just to have an idea. So like 2021 was crazy, volatile all over the place, but there was a 56% run from October 25th to November 3rd. That was where BBVY announced their share buyback. So it started on the 25th, it ended there. And then, one of the biggest rugs of all time was, later that month in November on Thanksgiving, another very big run. So 2021, that was it. 2022 was 45% move from October 24th to Halloween, and that was I talked about it last week. That was the S3 parabolic move where S3 Partners, I think is their name. They are basically a mouthpiece for Citadel and the hedge funds. Came out and like just showed us their hand on purpose, I think, but they needed some cover for a move, so we got a 45% move. They said GameStop might go parabolic, and then it did. And then after that, though, that started the whole doldrums of 2022 and 2023, just the worst. And even in 2023, the terrible year, we still got a move in October at the end, started on the 30th. Not anything special compared to the other ones. It was almost 16% move up that ended on November 3rd. So 2024, though, that same time frame, that's where we got RC's YOLO. Tweet and delete. That was on the 25th. The move up started, the bottom was on the 23rd. That was a 20% move that ended on Halloween, the day before Halloween. So I said it at the beginning, bear beware. Even in 2023, by the way, 2023 end of November was fucking monster. So, there's a couple big moves at the end of November that we've had too. I was talking to Paulie at the before we got going. November was super strong last year. It's crazy how I didn't make more money in the month of November. Kind of disappointed because like I'm sitting there looking, so it was 20% move from October 25th to Halloween, and then if you just go up to like the middle of November, you're up to another like 40% move at that point. So by the end of the year, though, when we topped, so the run started on October 25th. We topped 69% up right before Greg fucked the cake. So just bullish, very bullish time of year last year for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like probably the start of the week. OPEX settlement is upon us now. OPEX is done. Settlement is here. I haven't been able to keep track of the other option chain too much to have a good feeling of what we're going to see, Monday or Tuesday. I don't know I don't even know if we finish above max pain. So, it might start out slow, but I really think the bounce is about to come. If we go from here to fill that gap, that would be about a 23% move at 28.42. That's about. So, that kind of be what I would be looking to see happen by the end of October between here and Halloween, maybe. And then who knows what happens from there. We got to get some volume though. So yeah, we'll go to you, Paulie, and see how you're looking at the chart. But I mean, anything else on the option chain you guys are seeing? I don't know. No one played any calls last week, huh? You guys are very active at all?
Yeah. So I've mostly been buying warrants, but in my Webull account where warrants are position close only PCO, I am not able to buy warrants. So I did buy some $25 calls, just a small position for next week, just to have a little. I placed a little faith in the Gandalf line on that account. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I haven't honestly been watching the options chain too closely. Mostly just because one, we haven't seen a lot of volume. First of all, and so if the volume overall is muted, then that also means that the options chain itself is not going to be that noteworthy. But also, this is in my opinion, it's a great place to accumulate. So, but in that respect, if I am gonna play any options, I mean, I'm talking like I put like $25 into options for next week. So like, I mean, it's that small of a position. So, I'm mostly, if I'm spending money on anything right now, it's warrants, because that is where I see the most asymmetric upside, and limited downside. So
Yeah, real quick, because I didn't really talk about Gmuse too much. I'll just give the volume because it's just flagging, right? I mean, it's not moving at all. It's pretty much stuck right around $3. But Monday was 2 million volume. Tuesday was 1.2 million volume. Wednesday was 1.1 million volume. Thursday, 857,000. And then Friday was 1.1 million. So, it's coming down. I don't know what to expect, but I think we're kind of settling in on a number, but it's holding. It is holding pretty nicely.
Yeah, I mean, Swami brought up Wyckoff earlier, and the Gmuse chart really does look a lot like a Wyckoff accumulation pattern at this point. I mean, we don't have a lot of history to go on, but with what little we have right now, it looks a lot like like the beginning of a Wyckoff accumulation pattern. That can obviously change, but just if we're just dealing with what we've got, obviously, then that's kind of how I would characterize it. But I would also say that, we've talked about that little blip of the open at 225 on the warrants, and not all gaps fill, but if that gap does fill, then it wouldn't hurt to have a little good till cancel order down at like that 228 230 range just to see if it fills. Get a nice little cost basis. But by the same token, if all of our theses are correct and GameStop is trading at $150 or $750, 6 or 10 months from now, then is anybody going to care whether your cost basis was $2.30 or $3.30 on the warrants? No, like that is not going to matter. So if you are generally bullish on GameStop and you think that it's going to 5 or 10x from here, then that 75 cents of difference on the warrant entry price is ultimately not going to make a difference. But if you're trying to play that game, then I can see why it's a good strategy. Like I have absolutely no issues with that, because I think that there is a possibility that the gap could fill. Like the way that it's kind of holding that $2.90 level right now is encouraging, but that doesn't mean that it can't have a liquidity
There's big holders
sweep
out there. Yeah, there's big holders out there too, like that could decide they want to just make some money or sell them, or you never know. So there's weird fucking little pops still, by the way. Tuesday morning it shot up to 350, so we got a high of $3.50 on the week. For the Muse. I'm gonna start at Muse News. I don't know.
G-Muse News.
Yeah, G-Muse News. I don't know, just lots of after hours and pre-market volatility with these things. So I don't know. It's different than if you do actually play calls. You don't have that chance. So I don't know.
Right.
There might be a way to figure out how to play these Muse.
And that can be kind of common too with like generally illiquid securities too. And depending on your broker, you may or may not be able to even put in a good till canceled order, or even a good till canceled order that includes extended hours. So, if that liquidity sweep comes and it does go down and fill the gap, and that's the thing about gaps. Like sometimes a gap fill may or may not be valid if it happens during the extended hours period. Like that, like I think the jury is kind of still out on that one, but some people will tell you that if the gap fills in the after hours period, like it counts. Some people will tell you no, it's got to be during trading hours. I think it really just depends.
Yeah, sometimes gaps are created because of that pre-market and after-hours trading.
Right.
I know we had that whole. Well, that's pretty much how most gaps are created. Actually, is a big move in pre-market or after-hours. But yeah, I do know what you mean though. Like we'll fill some downside gaps. It seems like where we catch a liquidity sweep or whatever in after-hours. We saw one, I think, maybe recently. So,
yeah, and sometimes that's good enough, and then you don't need to fill the gap during the trading hour session, and so like it just doesn't always have to happen during the trading hours, but it's not an exact science, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. So, I grabbed a few little like out the monies. I think I'm trying to target July or not July. Fuck. Calls. That's like way more theta than I've ever.
I was going to say you really are in therapy, aren't you?
Yeah, negative theta. No, I was thinking like the 7th, 11/7. I think that's because like I personally feel like we're gonna catch a move between now and Halloween. I'm gonna try my darndest to stay out because we watch this shit so closely, and we have a whole Twitter and Discord, and I don't really want to try to get in ahead of this if we got another week or so of sideways action. But if you are going to be looking, give yourself some time. Get out of October. If you can, get yourself out of November too. Everything's so cheap right now. 30-day IV is in the 40s, like low 40s. So okay, cool.
So yeah, there's a couple of ways that I can look at it too, with like the whole bear beware, you're in for a scare thing too, is that while I do generally expect for price to improve by Halloween, I can also, like, if I want to play devil's advocate for a second, if that message is meant to say that if bears are feeling overconfident going in to the Halloween season because they might think that they have a little too much control over the chart, I could entertain that thought, because when we look at the chart, and when you see these like long wicks on certain time frames, that's what we would normally refer to as a liquidity sweep. When the bears come in and really try to hammer the price down, and it's met with extreme buying pressure, that's kind of what I might also envision maybe like a bear beware, you're in for a scare sort of, maybe that's what it's about. So it could be a something like that, or it could be just a we have price action that's going up. So I say that just to sort of hedge the possibility that like the price action literally could go either way going into it. So I don't want to necessarily anchor to
we can get our ass kicked.
Like I don't want to anchor to a specific price direction going in that way. But obviously we are bullish long term. But the idea here is that I think we're all in agreement that like if price goes any lower, like, does that suck short term? Sure. But are we all going to get excited? Yeah. Like that's honestly, like if you just zoom out and you go back in time, you look at 2024, you look at 2021, or at 2020, like you look at every time that there's been an explosive move upward, what has always come before it?
It's always dippiest.
Yeah, it is always the dippiest before it's the rippiest. And but also, if I'm going to just be contrarian to my own point for a second, I think this is why Ryan Cohen has built such a strong cash position, because it is the best defense he has against that behavior, that chart mechanic, because right now they have at least 80% of their current market cap in liquid cash and Bitcoin. So, even though Bitcoin is down right now to about their cost basis, it's pretty close to it. That is a small percentage of their total holdings, and he didn't overcommit to it. And a lot of people looked at that as a negative. But if he had overcommitted to it And you look at all the Bitcoin treasury companies right now. I mean, I was looking at an article today that said, "Oh, the Bitcoin treasury bubble has burst," and what was it? Over 80% of them are trading below their net asset value right now. That's well, I'm not certain that any bubble has burst yet. I think that might be a premature call, but a lot of them are extremely leveraged, and that's by design. Obviously, they want to trade at a multiple of Bitcoin, from a sentiment perspective, but it also puts them in a very tenuous position when Bitcoin is on a downswing, if they're trying to actively fundraise. So Ryan Cohen has done kind of the opposite from a cash management position, where he raises money and waits for opportunity instead. And
Yep.
I really like what Larry Chang has had to say about a strong balance sheet being both offense and defense at the same time. He's said this kind of repeatedly, and you have to play offense and defense at the same time in business, and it can really make a huge difference in your probability of success, essentially. And just to borrow one of his direct quotes, he said, in turbulent times, a strong balance sheet is a business's best defense to protect it against unpredictable dynamics. It also enables the business to go on the offensive and seize opportunities that emerge. And he said a strong balance sheet equals defense plus offense at the same time. And I really think that's essentially what GameStop has done here. I mean, their balance sheet is stronger right now than it ever has been in its entire 23-year history.
Yeah.
And when you do zoom out and you look at all of the conditions that have led to a squeeze in the past, it has been them getting pushed downward. But if you also look at what's been happening for the last several months, it's been essentially getting pushed up against this line, this Gandalf line I've been talking about, where in the past it would get pushed below it if it didn't have this strong cash position. But instead, it's just been getting pushed sideways up against it.
Yeah.
And I think that says a lot about the defense that GameStop has played. And I don't know, like maybe that is the pressure cooker building there, and maybe that dynamic is still in play, but because of the defense that is there, you're not going to see that dramatic dip below the line. Maybe a dip below the line will still come, but it's not going to be as steep. And there might still be a small liquidity sweep there, but when it comes, boom, it gets bought up immediately.
Yeah, people are upset because we're trading sideways. But if you just go back to 2024, we're not going down to those $10 lows anymore.
Yeah, no chance. No chance.
Yeah, and we are now sitting at 22, 23, and they aren't pushing us down, and they have plenty of opportunity too. So I'm beginning to think they can't. That's kind of where I am with it. So
right.
I shouldn't say that because, with GameStop, you never say never. We've all been
challenge accepted, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I don't see it. So you kind of been talking about, do you want to take us through? I know Swami's got some stuff with chart and his whole, what Swami sees. He has so many good notes. But anyways, do you want to stick with the chart or anything else you're seeing there, Paulie?
I think, yeah, that's probably about what I've got. I want to see what Swami sees.
Yeah. Okay. What are you seeing there with the chart, Swami?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Should I introduce this segment? I haven't.
Have we commissioned a theme song for this yet? Do we have the budget for that?
I mean, I don't know. I can make one.
It could be like the music from Kitty's meme where they're all looking at each other.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah. I tried to make that sound and it wasn't
Don't
Very
try
good.
to make it fight.
That reminded me. I need to remember. Note to editor Sean. Put in
The good, the bad,
bear.
the ugly.
Put in the bear beware meme.
You will beware. You're in for a scare.
In the show, Sean. I'm just telling myself in the future because I haven't added any kitty memes to the show in like I don't know, over a month, 2 months now. So, okay, take us through what you're seeing, Swami. That was a drop.
Famous seer, sage, all-knowing, all-seeing, all-omniscient, and former master of ceremonies at a house of pies. Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm Swami.
the Magnificent.
Yeah, so I'll just limit it to the chart. Otherwise, you guys might be listening to me for way too long.
Just roll with it, bro.
Just on the chart, I mean, I love what I'm seeing. I expected this week to be nothing because it's OPEX, like you said, Fitzy. But I'm a big fan of our friend, the Ultimator, and his bottom finder. So he was a guest a couple weeks ago. He's on X. Definitely follow him. He's OG, been around forever. He's done a lot of DD. And he recently,
he's getting some haters too, man.
Yeah, well, that means he's doing something right.
That's how you know he's on the right track.
Yeah.
But he recently made a post on Super Stunk, I think this past week. Definitely check it out. It just search bottom finder on Super Stunk and you'll find it. So he just
make sure you're searching that particular subreddit.
yeah. Don't put that in Reddit's general search bar. Otherwise,
That's solid advice. Thank you, Paulie.
Yeah, just
the great Hortoni will be doing that, but our
narrow search.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm a big fan of the indicator. So he made this indicator. I'll give you like the dumb version of how I understand it. It is it takes into account like how certain assets are moving alongside GameStop because they have correlation with GameStop's movements in the past, and that's things like silver, IWM, SPY, and when those things diverge from GameStop. So like when SPY and IWM in particular go up and GameStop does nothing, or it goes down, and there's no, that's like a divergence, and that typically happens before moves up. So it's being suppressed. And there's like different triggers that he has that basically, they say like when GameStop's likely to hit a bottom. And there were a couple of those over the summer, like in June, but they weren't like the full trigger. The full trigger is Lady Gobble. That's what he calls it. And that is like a much higher percentage, like call that the indicator is making, that like A, it's bottoming, but B, it's not just going to have like a ho-hum 5-10% move. It could be like a extended large move. And I believe he created it in between like January and March. It was definitely before March earnings, and so the indicator nailed the big spike up on the day after March earnings, or day after, on March 26th. So there were two Lady Gobble triggers on the 13th of March and the 11th. And then GameStop moved up like almost $8 in like 9 trading days. Like that's a huge, it's like almost 50% move.
It's enormous. Yeah.
And then he like the indicator is back tested, so you can see across time using the correlation logic that he built into it, and like it triggered on Lady Gobble triggered on October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th last year, and then RC said YOLO on the 25th, and then that Monday was a huge candle, 10% up on October 28th. And then the day after that, Kitty filed his 13G, showing he dropped all of his Chewy shares.
Yeah, we just talked about it. There was a 69% move that followed that. So
yeah. So that the bottom finder caught that. It also triggered a bunch of times right before May. And then if you go back in time, it often triggers when it's bottoming. It's not perfect though. There are, like, you can see some periods, like it triggered on August 23rd and 24th of 2023. There was a move up, like it went from 16 to 19, which isn't like a small move, but then it quickly dumped for like the next 2 months before that huge November 2023 move. So like, don't like YOLO anything based off the indicator, but it's a very accurate macro indicator of like where GameStop's at.
Also, take anything from 2023 with a grain of salt, because
I mean that looks like it was like maximum suppression for GameStop, but it maybe led to what happened in May 2024. Who knows?
Yeah,
but I think it's one of those things where you shouldn't rely on any single variable when you're looking at the chart if you're trading, whatever that means for you. But if I look at Multimator's indicator going off, this, as you guys talked about, historically being a strong period for GameStop, for some reason GameStop has like predictable cycles, and then I weigh in the fact that like it's trading, like $1.50 above its cash and Bitcoin per share right now. If you factor in like the warrants being fully exercised, it's even tighter to that number.
Right.
So like when you said, Fitzy, that they can't push it down lower, I would disagree with that only slightly though, and say that they don't want to, because if it goes lower, you get into the situation where I think the threat of share buybacks or insider buying, which is kind of the same thing, really starts to like ratchet up the likelihood of that. Especially anything at this point under $21, like that's less than GameStop's cash and Bitcoin per share. So like that's where I would see buybacks like starting to become a threat. GameStop has a little over $100 million authorized still, way back from 2019. So right now that's like 4 or 5 million shares. If they, slap that ask at that number, like that's going to move the price up. And then, you're trying to short or whatever they're doing into GameStop buying back shares. It's just bad. It's like that's a terrible position to short at. So
we've seen an example of that, like in practice, because September 20th of last year, it was a 4.6 million share order.
Yeah, and that wasn't even insider buying or share buybacks.
Yeah, that was just one single order for $92 million, and GameStop's existing outstanding authorization to buy shares back from 2019 that just hasn't been exhausted yet and has no expiration has roughly $100 million left. And so without needing to go to the board and say, hey, can I have a little bit more? Like Ryan Cohen can just at a whim spend $100 million at any point in time on buying more shares back if he wants to. And and I think it would be his fiduciary duty to do it if we see prices under $20 at any point.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, so like you factor in all these things, and like that's where you can become more confident that there's going to be a positive move.
Yeah.
I will say, like, if people are asking us on X, like, what is OPEX? I hope to God you are not trading options. Like, please do not trade options.
I hope you're an equity
You don't know
trader
what
if you are asking that.
Don't trade at all. Just buy and hold.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
Like, I just want to say that, like, please educate yourself on options. Like, they're engineered to make the dealer money.
Yes.
So you really got to know what you're doing.
But feel free to ask. And
yes,
sure.
Yeah. Learn by all means, but understand you are entering a casino.
Yeah, definitely.
But like, people need to know, like, it is a casino and the house wins.
Yes.
So
be ready to lose. Be fucking ready to lose your money if you're gonna buy calls, especially if you don't.
Zero. Price it to zero.
That's like the rule that I had to learn. But really, if you're gonna be playing calls, especially anything out of the money, anything that's a risk, because it gets less risky as you go in the money and further out time wise. But if you start playing the risky ones, just expect that money to be gone.
Yep.
If you play it right, you could make some money off of it, but don't count on that. Yeah. That's a better way to go about it for sure.
Yeah, education is great. That's my point, right? Is like, you wouldn't jump into a car having never tried learning how to drive. Same thing with options. So,
yeah. But, you know what? I feel like that's what I did with options though, and it fucking
that's what everybody does. And then you lose money, and then you realize, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, like, the chart looks great to me. Like, it looks like classic GameStop bottoming. GameStop's really weird, actually, because typically when a stock bottoms, there's like what's called like seller exhaustion, and that's typically preceded by like high volume candles with wicks. GameStop doesn't really do that, actually. What happens is it like turns into just a very light trickle of extremely low volume, and then it's just over, and then it starts moving up. And like, that's what this looks like right now. Like, it didn't make any meaningful lower low this entire week.
And there's often like a double bottom
low on Tuesday, and then it hasn't, it was down maybe a couple cents more than that on Thursday, but it looks like it's completely stopped going down for all the reasons that we just discussed. It might take, a week or two for it to like just kind of reset and get like the technical indicators at least flatlining instead of going down, like your moving averages and stuff. But yeah, I love it right now. Lady Gobble triggered. The only thing I'll say is, and Paulie kind of hinted at this too, you just never know what's going to happen in the market. The VIX spiked big time this week, and there were some regional banks that like are facing issues because loans defaulted. And if there's like a deleveraging event in the market, like on August 5th last year, that was the carry trade thing, that could definitely push GameStop lower, just because you're going to get algorithms from companies that have like nominal positions in GameStop just selling to like get rid of stock, and like that would push it under. But again, like, to me, that would be a gift, a buying opportunity. But if that happens next week, like, your weeklies will be toast.
Right.
So just be careful. But yeah, I'm really liking the setup now. The other thing I wanted to mention too, and I'm gonna sound like a wet blanket, but just on the warrants, I think they're great. In terms, they're called illiquid, but in terms of like comparing it to an option chain, it's the highest liquidity option you can buy.
Right? Yeah. That's a good point.
There's 590,000. Like, if you turn it into calls, it's like a strike with 590,000 OI. Like, that's insane. So that's liquid. And none of our option strikes trade 1 million like contracts a day. So from that standpoint, it's good. And you can trade off hours and stuff, and you can buy in like single increments. Whereas when it's an option contract, you're buying 100 shares worth, and like that gets pricey really quickly. So this actually allows you to like, you could literally spend $3 right now and do it. Maybe that's a good way to practice options with $3. But anyway,
buy
I
a
do
tenth
wanna
of an
get-
option.
And this far out from the expiration, it is far more responsible than your typical options trade.
And typically those are much more expensive, right? When it's a leap,
Mhm.
whereas here you can get in for cheap.
Mhm.
But I just want to mention, I see like, it's like almost like 100% of retail saying like the warrants are awesome. I'm buying so many. And that makes me a little like, it just gives me that like, oh shit, like nobody's talking about the downside here. And I just want to remind people like the warrant is under control of GameStop. There's no reality where like GameStop would like change it to like screw people over. However, GameStop could change it at any point in order to achieve whatever they're trying to achieve with this warrant. And depending on how they change it, it could drastically affect the price of the warrant. And so it's great. Like everybody who had shares got warrants. That's like free money. I'm not saying, go sell those or anything, but I've seen people dropping like 20, 30, 50 grand on warrants that like you're spending money on them. And I hope people realize there is a possibility that like on Monday, GameStop could say, we've canceled the warrants. And then your money just disappears.
Yeah, but
Like, I don't think people know that. That risk does not exist with an options contract.
No.
So like,
but they could also like extend it too, right? Like, because the big
Yeah,
risk is it could go to zero.
Nobody's
right?
talking about the downside.
So-
Nobody's
Yeah,
talking about the downside.
So yeah, like the warrant agreement is important to keep in
gotta read
perspective.
it.
It is important to keep in perspective. And as far as I understand the warrant agreement, these warrants are not they're not callable early. And so like for instance, there are some companies like Lunar, I think, is an example of one that I brought up when we first found out that that GameStop was issuing a warrant dividend. Lunar Intuitive Machines is the name of the company. Lunar is their ticker, LUNR. They had warrants that were exercisable at I think $11 or $11.50. That if the company was over the market price of, I think it was $18 for a certain number of trading days, then the company had the right to call the warrants. And they did. They called the warrants and basically gave everyone, I don't remember if it was like 30 days or whatever, to either sell or exercise their warrants. And sure enough, within basically that amount of time frame, the stock price was back below that trigger price. By the time the call date had come and gone, essentially. And so that particular warrant agreement gave that company the ability to call the warrants early. I wasn't holding any warrants, but I was holding shares in the company at the time, and so I was following the news, and I was talking to other investors who held warrants, and so they were trying to decide like, oh, what do I do? Do I sell my warrants? Do I exercise them? Like I don't know. But GameStop's warrants are not callable as far as I am aware, but they are extendable. And so that's an important distinction,
which is kind of
so,
crazy, just
right.
because there's time value to that. So they could just be like, "Here's some more value." Like I don't know how that goes about happening, but
yeah,
they can also change the strike price. I'm pretty sure they can shrink the the time as well. And like, this is where I'm coming from, right? Like I said,
I don't believe they can move the expiration date sooner. Because the way the warrant agreement,
they have a lot of leeway.
The way the warrant agreement is structured, the language says that they may extend the expiration date. It doesn't say that they can just change it, but it specifically says that they can extend it.
We'll know soon.
Yeah,
we'll figure this one out real quick.
But my point is that primarily from GameStop's standpoint, the company, they are trying to raise money.
Yes, that's the whole purpose. Yeah,
that's the purpose. It's not to, I don't think, make a warrant short squeeze or any of that stuff. So if you have 50 grand in your trading account and you have $45,000 in warrants, oh boy, what are you doing? That's my point. Because GameStop, like, what if the price, there's like a market event or something, and we blink, and GameStop's at $45 and it's not going down. If I'm GameStop, I may raise the strike price on those, and like, you're still gonna like make money in that scenario. But like, I just want people to understand that, like, these are not the same as options. There's benefits because you can buy in much smaller amounts. You can trade off hours, but like, I just don't think a lot of people are really thinking about the downside. I have bought warrants myself in addition to the ones that I received for my shares, but I am sizing that overall position, appropriate based on what my portfolio is. So I don't want to see people lose money. I don't want to see people make dumb decisions. So
sure,
bro,
do your own research.
Bloody wanker.
There is no downside.
This is a bloody wanker.
This is the echo chamber. There is no downside. I'm fucking around.
well, no, but I think the advice though to like read and familiarize yourself with the warrant agreement though is
know what GameStop
is
can
great
do
advice though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it is
for sure,
because there is a lot of good stuff in there, and like for instance, they can issue additional warrants on the same series. They can also opt to, at a later point, issue non-fungible warrants as part of the series.
NFTs?
So,
no.
yes.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, they literally use the term non-fungible. So there's.
I mean, they can go to zero.
There is a lot
for
of
sure.
There is a lot of flexibility that GameStop has given themselves. But to Swami's point, at the end of the day, this is a fundraising mechanism for GameStop, and they want a minimum of $1.9 billion out of it. And so I think, the takeaway I pull from that is that a year from now, those warrants have virtually, in my opinion, I think they have a virtually zero chance of expiring worthless, because GameStop wants them to be exercised, and a majority of them are going to be traded back and forth between now and then, because they'll go up, they'll go down, they will fluctuate with GameStop's price, but the odds of GameStop being below the strike price of the warrants when they expire are very, very low. Now, whether that strike price changes between now and then, that's an interesting proposition, right? But the odds
that would raise more money,
right? Yeah, but the price of the underlying being below the strike price of the warrants on the expiration, I would put that at a very low probability, just because it's the institutions that are going to be, by and large, exercising the warrants close to the expiration, and that's where the fundraising comes from.
Yep.
Yeah, we got people exercising them now too, which is great.
It's hilarious.
I know it's stupid, but or whatever. Whatever. I love it. I love it. I don't give a shit.
It's hilarious.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, the other thing I'll say too, just in terms of like how the warrants are trading, I'm of the belief that like I think that I don't view the warrants as really, at least right now, being like they're a derivative of GameStop, and there are $32 strike calls for October 26th, and they're gonna trade like that. Like there may be some deviations, but like they're within 10 cents of that strike right now.
Yeah.
And I expect the price to pin to how an option would trade. There may be like intermittent spikes up or down because of like just the market getting flooded with buys or sells, but like I expect that to like quickly be reverting to the mean, because like there's an option out there and you can arbitrage it. Like if the price of the warrant is like highly deviated from the 32Cs, then people are either going to short the 32Cs and buy warrants, or vice versa, and then the prices will equalize. That's just how these work.
Yeah, for now, that's how it will trade. But eventually, the warrants will create their own market. So, the theta decay on it will not perfectly model the option.
It should be pretty close though.
Yeah, like it will be a close enough approximation, but warrants do create their own market, and it will be, I think, I think, there's this concept of supply shock, and we talk about it a little bit in terms of Bitcoin, how the supply shock just simply hasn't happened yet, but I think that may happen with warrants too, and I think that's
I do too.
I think that will happen. That's the big reason why it won't necessarily be exactly the same as an option, but they are interdependent a little bit because everything has a relationship to the underlying.
Yeah, and I think to that point, Paulie, I think that as obviously we still have a long time, like it's a year,
right.
I think as time begins to tick away, that's when you'll start to see more volatility.
Right.
Yeah, and when there's volatility that doesn't follow the actual strike, I think that's where things will be interesting too. Like something else is happening in the background.
Well, that's how we'll know. 100%. Yeah. And while, like I said, while I said like, hey, it's basically going to match the 32C, I say that for now. Like I am fully of the belief that this is going to come back to bite the brokers in the ass, and there will be an event from this. Either the warrants will squeeze or GameStop's going to squeeze because of the warrants.
Well, and I think that relationship is probably a good thing to watch too. Like watch for the divergence
100%.
between those things, because when you see them diverge, that's probably a good bellwether.
That's a huge indicator to me.
that hey, something might be going down.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so we'll get pretty much out of here pretty quick. But tinfoil, we didn't have any like for a couple weeks now. It seems like tinfoil has been real light. But I just we're coming up on the anniversary of RC's YOLO tweet and delete. So I'll be watching that. The big tinfoil that I'm surprised we haven't mentioned at all, guys, is you avocado in my anus. We're coming up National Cap Day. That's the 29th of October. Last year at that time, we got his Chewy filing. That's like pretty much the only tin that has hit from his meme movie. Honestly, like I can't really think of anything else that we pulled from that movie. But we did pull that. So there's another one I'll add to the shows. That meme, but
told me that your wife said that he called it Ocean 11. Now, who decided that? I'm a private contractor.
It was a collaboration. That moniker is insulting.
Yeah, I mean, Danny, it was one job that we did together, so I don't know where this whole, proprietary stance comes from. It seems a little possessive.
One could make the argument that because it was, in fact, Danny's idea, maybe
No, hang on a minute. We all had our own areas of expertise. I mean, without us, it don't leave your head, mate.
It just hurts, because it seemed like we all agreed to call it the Benedict job. I mean, that's what we called it when we were doing it. You know? If you wanted to call it something else all along, then...
Wait, when you have a problem, who do you go to?
Rusty.
Yeah, so that's coming up. You know, it's perfect time of year, by the way. Anyone who wants to know what that is, just go to that account. I won't say it again here. It's like my least favorite account name.
Avocado in my anus.
Yeah, there you go. He posts on National Cat Day. They have, and we know that's Kitty. Kitty pointed to that account in his meme movie. That account started posting in 2021 on October 29th. Has posted once, then and only then. It didn't post last year though, right? Did it? It didn't post. Not. Yeah, but we got the filing.
And that account was created on October 3rd, which was our record date for the dividend.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, if you want to, it's funny, like, because we aren't really talking about it, and I'm not gonna really talk.
Yeah,
about
I won't bring it up again. I'm not gonna hype that at all.
I mean, it's kind of like the best hype date out there, to be honest.
It's the only one that has been real. But this will probably be. I won't tweet about it at all.
I'm not either.
You're probably over
I refuse.
the
dates.
It's the fight. It's the fight club of hype dates.
Yeah, I took my shot for August 28th. I'm done, but I am very much looking forward to the 29th.
Yeah, and then what was his name? E.T. I want to give him credit.
Yeah, it's like Sylvester. E.T. Sylvester.
Yeah, he
X.
He found my because Kitty has deleted quite a few and I fully believe it was Kitty because they all happened in September and October. Tweets deleted or removed for copyright. I think he had a hand in all of those. Right. But I'll tweet. I have tweeted on several of those. The internet never forgets, and then I post the actual memes.
Yeah.
So he posted one of those. I'm looking at my Twitter. I don't like it anymore. God, my notifications suck sometimes, guys. Let's see. Anyway, so the anniversary of one of the deleted tweets was October. No, it was September. But either way, 10/20 is the day that Dog Days was deleted. So, so a year ago,
not deleted, but taken down for copyright.
Okay,
right.
Okay.
Kitty did not delete it.
He probably DMCA'd himself.
Yeah, he turned himself in.
I think he definitely did.
Yeah. So, this is the time of year that all that shit happened last year. We got the tweet and delete. It's a very bullish time of year. OPEX is done. I'm feeling good about all of that shit. Let's see. You got any other tinfoil, Timmy? Or Timmy? I don't know why. Just Swami? Tinfoil Swami? I know you've been drawing art with ticks and stuff.
Oh yeah. That was this week too, huh?
Yeah.
Is this the what's Swami seeing segment?
Yeah, I think we're kind of just still in it. I think we've been in it. So go ahead.
Never ended.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go down my list. And I was thinking about this actually. I should just do this every week. I'm not on the show every week. That's fine, but it takes me like 15 minutes. I just go through my own X account, which is basically like a diary of like
GameStop. That's why I love that. Yeah, I love that. That's pretty cool.
It helps me put this stuff together. So I'm gonna try to do this for the people out there every week. I'll just post like, hey, this is the week in GameStop.
If you can make it audio, it might find its way into the show.
Oof.
That would be pretty cool. So
yeah, if I can record it like whenever, then I can definitely do that.
Great segment.
We'll figure that out. I think that's a good idea.
All right, cool. All right, yeah. So what am I seeing? I got a bunch of stuff. I'll try to be quick. So GameStop in the media. What is going on with Reuters?
Yeah.
Reuters, what's the deal? Why are you updating all of your GameStop articles from 2021? You sketchy motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, right?
Like, who told you to do that? Seriously. So I have this on my X account. Bunch of people found this out. It's on Super Stunk, but like Reuters went back and updated like over a dozen of their articles about GameStop. Some of them have no actual edits that I could find because you can compare them, Reuters. There's something called the Wayback Machine, and this community is going to go through every single article to see what you changed. But there was one.
It's like they don't even know us.
Yeah. Like, what are you thinking, guys? You think you're going to flip this under the rug? Give us a break. But but there's one. It's like, what is the article was called "Why Regulators May Scrutinize GameStop's Reddit-Driven Retail Stock Surge," and Reuters went back and made 2 changes to it that are really weird to me. The first one, in the original article, it said that the SEC, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, said in a statement on Wednesday the agency was, quote unquote, actively monitoring market volatility without offering specifics. The Southern District of New York, which could have jurisdiction over a criminal case, declined to comment. That's the original. Reuters changed it to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission declined to comment.
Weird.
So they just deleted out what it said. And it's like, what? That's like completely contradictory. Why did they change that? And then the other change to it was they just straight up deleted a sentence. So in the original one, it said NICE, which is a New York Stock Exchange, said it employed advanced technology to investigate suspicious trading activity, according to a representative. When Reuters updated the article on October 10th, they deleted that sentence. They deleted the sentence about monitoring suspicious trading activity. Super sketchy. Like, what is up with that?
And we're monitoring suspicious editing activity.
To the reporter, and the reporter wasn't even aware that they changed the article.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
That's so weird.
The date updated too, right? So so it was posted like it was a new article.
And it showed up in Reuters feed, like all these GameStop articles. So like,
crazy.
It's really weird to me. I think, like, I've seen some stuff, like, it kind of seems like there's like some signaling going on about GameStop in the media. There was like a random article, I think it was the New York Post posted it, about like Jim Cramer having to pull a catheter out of his dick. Because, yeah, look it up.
That one, yeah.
All you got to do is type Jim Cramer catheter, and there was a story like
dick.
I have no interest in searching for that.
Jim Cramer dick. Let's see what happens.
Well, they didn't say dick in the article, but like they just randomly post this article that Jim Cramer had to pull his catheter out when the GameStop squeeze happened. They posted that like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "What
weird.
the fuck is this? It's so weird. Why are they posting it?" So
I got Dick's Sporting's goods, by the way. That's what they should.
Yeah, that's another one. Don't search that. So like, I don't know. It depends how conspiracy you want to get. Do I think that there is like what I'll call signaling in the media? Yes, I do. Yeah. What does that mean? I don't know.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if it's bullish. I don't know if it's bearish. But like something
is it noise? Probably. I don't know.
Something seems to be afoot to me.
Yeah.
All right. Next item in the Swami segment is the crypto liquidation and what's going on in the market. I touched on this briefly, but like, just pay attention to what's going on in the market right now. Like I said, the VIX, which is the volatility index, spiked this week. It got shoved down on Friday. That doesn't mean it's over. This stuff matters for GameStop. Silver is like squeezing. It did dump on Friday. We'll see what happens, but like Altimator's indicator like relies on like the price of silver. There seems to be like swaps or something in relation to GameStop. So like just watch what's going on.
It looks so real. I was looking at VIX earlier when you brought it up. It doesn't even seem to be moving the correct way. It seems like it's moving with the SPY at certain times here too.
Which happens at the end of bull markets sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like blow off top.
Yeah.
So like the volatility doesn't always mean down. It can mean up as well. And then the other thing I'll mention for like just pay attention to this stuff is the Fed's reverse repo facility hit zero for like the first time since like 2021, I think. So that is a marker for how much liquidity is in the market, like how much liquidity banks have. Because what that is when a bank has excess cash, they put it in the reverse repo, they buy like a bond or whatever, I forget what it is, like overnight, just to collect some interest. And like that's how money market funds return interest back when you put your cash in money market, because the bank is getting interest back from the Fed for short-term lending.
Right.
When reverse repo goes to zero, that means that the banks have no excess cash, which is not always a bad thing. That just means it could be in the market and they don't need, they don't need to put it in the reverse repo. But what happened this week also was the Fed's repo facility, so not reverse, the repo, which is when banks need cash and they don't have it, and they put assets up for as collateral, and then the Fed gives them cash. That spiked up this week for the first time in a while. So like there was a negative balance of liquidity between the reverse repo and the repo. And I know it's technical, look it up, ask ChatGPT, but like just if you look at the old like DD and stuff with GameStop, like this stuff is really interesting to me, because like if there's low liquidity in the market, that causes volatility because trading volumes go down. Firms cannot use as much leverage to short or go long. And I don't know, like it kind of seems like an environment where like GameStop could get out of hand. If you believe in like the classic OG. So just pay attention to
the borrower of last resort. What is that? Is that what they call it? It sounds so ominous.
It's an emergency fund.
Yeah.
It's when banks don't have cash and they need it.
Last resort.
They put up their assets and the Fed gives them cash.
Yeah.
And we saw like regional bank stocks tanking this week because
Jeffries. I don't know if that's a bank. Honestly, I don't fucking follow that close. But Jeffries is doing pretty terrible, right?
Yep. All regional banks got sold off this week. And there could be a liquidity issue. There's tons of bank funds that were used to finance private credit. And if those loans start going bad, and you had a very big one blow up like 2 weeks ago with this company called First Brands for like $10 billion in loans that they defaulted on. That's a lot of money. And like, if that starts happening, like across like multiple big loans, like, and banks start going belly up, I don't know if you believe in the MOAS hypothesis, like this is the type of environment it would happen in. So just pay attention to the macro stuff. What else? Cat Day is in 11 days. We talked about that. Jim Cramer posted twice this week that he's very bullish.
Oh, fuck.
So,
at least he didn't say it on
I just
GameStop.
said, and the fact that no, it's about the market in general, nothing about GameStop.
That's good.
So, like Jim Cramer's said twice that he's bullish, and I don't know. I think there's something coming. I think there's going to be a volatility event like the carry trade thing last August. What else? Business, new power packs. We talked about that. Oh, the tick data. So
yeah, that's fun.
I feel like an idiot even talking about this, but like, I can't lie. I saw what I saw. I forget who the original poster was. I don't want to take credit, but somebody posted on Reddit, I think. They looked at the tick data. So like tick is like microseconds of price action. So it doesn't necessarily look like bars or like a line. It's like little dots on a plot. But like the tick data for GameStop earlier in the week, overnight, like after hours, which is like a time where you could easily manipulate where the ticks are going because there's no liquidity, looked exactly like a cat. like exactly like a cat.
Yeah,
that
it did.
Kitty had in one of his memes, where it's the Wolverine meme right before he comes up. The heartbeat monitor goes off. There's an EKG beat, and then a cat, and then another EKG beat, and then Wolverine pops up. So nothing happened this week. No kitty sightings, but the first one definitely looked like a cat. So super weird. Feel like a dummy, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then the other one with the hanging there kitty. That one was pretty funny too. I mean,
Yeah,
whatever. We did get
another one.
We did get a thump last week too, right? Yeah, we got
two of them. What was
a
it?
big one too.
Tuesday night and Thursday night.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I had some idiot. I'll say idiot because he approached me like an ass immediately. But like, oh, this is so easy. How many times do I gotta tell you? Like, I've never even seen this guy, by the way. How many times do I gotta tell you that anybody could do this? Fucking nobody can. We've all tried. I've tried. I know. If you can get something $1 over the what NBO, if you get something $1 over that in the first 2-3 seconds of after hours trading, show me, or overnight trading.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's an institution
cannot be done.
Yeah. So
or somebody paying an institution with an algorithm to do that for them.
Some shit's happening there. So, but yeah, that's fun.
That's all I got. That's all
right. Someone had pointed out. I wish I could remember who it was, but the 23.74 price on the Thumb Thursday night was the same number as the price on the lightsaber. Yeah.
Watch it be Toast doing the thumps. Toast has just found a way.
Yeah.
Was that the anal use only?
Yeah, for the lightsaber that had the sticker on it that said for rectal use only.
That was such a
price
good tweet.
tag. The price tag on that lightsaber from GameStop was $23.74. So just for what it's worth, that's
I made
funny.
a meme. Well, everyone made a meme off of that tweet. It was amazing, but I got one of Kenny playing hide and go seek with that lightsaber. So that was a good one. That was like December last year. When was that? That was the end of last year, but I think they had to delete that shit too. But we had a lot of fun in the community with that shit. So
I forgot one thing. So another thing, like for like something happening in the market is, if you believe that RC actually does have a crystal ball. So back in April, when the market was tanking because of the Liberation Day, he tweeted on, I think it was on April 3rd when he bought shares, that Jim Cramer saved the market from a by tweeting that Black Monday was going to happen. And lo and behold, the market rebounded insanely the next week with that like $50 candle on SPY and elsewhere. GameStop did too. I always thought that tweet was interesting because obviously like RC had the YOLO tweet last October. He seems to know about GameStop cycles. And he said that about Black Monday. And Black Monday is from 1987. There was a huge crash, like a flash crash in the stock market, and that occurred in October. And then the 1929 stock market crash that kicked off the Great Depression also happened in October. So all this stuff going on with the VIX, the banks, the liquidity, Jim Cramer saying he's bullish 2 times, and RC was talking about Black Monday not happening in April, but Black Monday has happened in October in the past.
Yeah,
right.
Nice.
Draw your own conclusions.
And April and October are exactly 6 months apart. So
exactly,
flip mode.
GameStop was
the length of a swap sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
cycle, maybe, right? Yeah.
It's all just interesting coincidences, right?
Yeah. All right.
And GameStop is flush with cash, and is not over leveraged in any way.
And didn't RC say in his interview that sometimes the stock market can go from green to red with no yellow.
Oh yeah,
Right.
and he's just waiting for the right opportunity. That's kind of how he put it. So there might be some good opportunities coming if what you think is coming, Swami.
You can't stop what's coming.
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
all right. Good job. So I'll do some community or just our notes real quick. I wanted to say thank you to IB35. I just got in the mail my GameStop PSA certified 10 share.
Nice.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. I'm very happy. It's just so cool. It's going right next to the banana by GME But Stallion.
Love it.
So yeah, I love it. Thank you, IB. I really appreciate it. It's really cool. Yeah, so that's cool. Alert Piano made it to the 30s in the Discord, so wanted to give him a shout out there. I appreciate everything that guy does in our server. He contributes a lot of good stuff. So
For sure.
I need to. I don't know, like, so he's a booster, and you get like the little underwear pirate flag as your symbol. But like, if you move up, like most of the 30s have a little gold TEC thing. So I wish we could do 2, but I think I might switch it up a little bit so the 30s can get their little symbol.
Did you see mine this week, Fitzy?
You got over the 50s, right? Where are you now? Let's see.
52.
52. Let's go. See, that's like, if I start at 50s, I think there'd be about 4 of us in there.
Yeah, it's us 3 in Watchtower, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably it. There's a few more in the 40s, but yeah, that's it. Oh, Paulie, you're in the 50s, aren't you? Yeah, yeah.
I think
us
so,
3.
yeah.
Yeah, he is.
It's weird. The higher you get, the sadder you get about it. You're like,
Right,
"Fuck,
yeah, it's like, don't remind
it's
me.
kind of fucking embarrassing." Yeah,
I
there's a
did not
point.
tell my wife that I'm in the 50s.
Yeah, I'm about to get to 100. That's crazy. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I think no one did. Anyone join this week? I think. Let's see. Sorry, I should have been a little bit more prepared with that one. Swami boosted the server. Thank you, Swami.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I finally renewed my Nitro.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's only one server I was going to boost, so obviously.
There you go.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't know if Aaron boosted us with some I don't know, fuckery. I think that's about to run out, so we might lose some of our boosts here. So that'll help a lot. Yeah, El Falcone, he was the last one in, so no one knew this week.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we didn't lose anybody. It's good, chilling. Everyone, on weeks like this where there's a lot of stress out there on X, everyone seems to be an asshole. We're all just cutting up, having a fucking blast in the Discord. So that's the shit I like. So, all right, Paul, you got anything before we get out of here?
I had forgotten to post my thumps chart and spreadsheet, so I will do that tonight. So
okay,
yeah. Sorry for anybody who was waiting with bated breath for those, but not like it influences our chart action.
It's
or
helpful
anything.
though. I think
it's a cool visual, but yeah, I've got it good to go. And now that everyone has been to school on fib channels, I think I'll include the Gandalf fib channel in that chart. So
yeah, I think you should do more videos. I think that's pretty cool.
Thanks.
It's good
Also
stuff.
a great trolling opportunity, Paulie. Just do like 10 fib channels overlaid and then pretend like it's a serious chart.
With no context whatsoever.
Just throw it on your X.
Just be like
tag every single one of the people that bitched at you.
Yeah. TEC, the echo chamber on X, join that community if you want to, get kind of notified as soon as I drop an episode, as soon as we make an episode. There's some good posts in there too. Magnificent and GME But Stallion, they're holding it down. Lots of good stuff in that. So take a look there. Please check out our Discord, or not our Discord, our YouTube. If you don't like any of the podcast players, you can find us on YouTube, same name. That's Echo Chamber.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like and subscribe. I don't know. Look, I don't know. I'm just. We don't promote it very much, but we're doing well, and we get new people all the time.
We're waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the email, Tylenol?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Swami, you got anything before we get out of here?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right. Thanks everyone for coming out. Thank you, Paulie. Thank you, Swami. Thank you, Chuck, and thank you, Echo, for starting this whole thing out with us. Hopefully we get you guys on soon.
Here's to 50 more.
50.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Think you're the only superhero in the world? I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
Some may say this might be your last farewell ride. Some may say this might be your last farewell ride.